Hello friends and welcome to week 2 of NaNoWriMo. Today we have a check-in and some vlogging. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Holly. If you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing recently, and if you have been around for a while, well, thank you for being around for a while. I really appreciate you. Now today we have some vlogging. I know that that is not everyone's cup of tea. As someone who personally is not really a vlog watcher, I will totally understand if you want to skip past the vlogging. So because of that, I'm going to start off with our check-in and an excerpt, and I will ask you one thing, that if you're going to skip past the vlog, to please skip to the end where you see this version of me again, to hear the little bit of housekeeping I have to do and learn about my sprinting schedule. So, how has this week been? It's been good. I was way more active in general than last week, so I had a wonderful time just visiting old schools, friends, and family. My nostalgia dump, as I have been calling it, has been going swimmingly. With writing, I have continued to hit par every day, and as a reminder, par for me right now is 3.5 pages of editing per day. I sorted this out with the assumption that 500 words is your average page, and that's just as close as I'm going to get to that 1,667 mark without having to hunker down and count each individual word on the printed page, because yes, I am editing by hand. Sprints have been great. The Discord community is growing, and we had a good turnout yesterday for Saturday sprints on YouTube. Now, I do like to give you a bit of an excerpt of what I've been working on. So today you are going to get one from chapter 9, which is called In the Realm of Fairies. And this is when one of my main characters, Kira, finally arrives in Sinterra. Feet pounding on the ground, heart pounding in her chest, Kira ran, pursued by the strange creatures on Wolfback yet again. Half aware this was a dream, but fully afraid for her life, she did her best to keep up her pace and not run out of breath. A hill rose up in front of her, and she stopped for a moment, looking back over her shoulder. They were gaining. No stopping now. Resolutely, she steeled herself and continued, speeding as fast as she could towards the top of the hill where... What? Where she would keep running down the other side until she lost breath and strength and eventually life? Something drew her to this spot rather than veering off, and it certainly wasn't logic. Somehow she just knew salvation awaited. And sure enough, as she neared the top, still keeping her pace ahead of the enemy, a purple glow began to emanate in her line of sight. That had to mean something, right? Tripping over branches, gopher holes, and loose dirt as she continued to climb, the light grew, and it became clear that it was a portal that awaited her at the top of the hill. Surely her intuition had been correct, and this was where she needed to be. Finally, after what seemed like eternity, she reached the top. She stopped only to look back once more and catch her breath before shutting her eyes and jumping through the glowing doorway. All at once, there was a loud sucking noise and a rushing of air. The dream world around her became all too real, the feelings that would otherwise be dulled by being in a dream state coming instead into sharp clarity. Her ears ached, her face burned, she felt all at a loss, tumbling through time and space until she landed hard on the ground. Lying still for a moment, her hearing came back first, as birdsong infiltrated her ears. Next, smell kicked in. She smelled the fresh grass that, yes, she was indeed lying on. Touch. She felt at the surface with her fingers gripping plant matter and dirt in her hands. Then, like a slap to the face, taste returned. The taste of copper filling her mouth. She remembered putting a penny from Canada in her mouth when she was a child. That's what this was like. But no, the liquid in her mouth proved that this was blood. Bracing herself against the ground, Kira pushed herself up into a seated position, putting fingers to lips and opening her eyes as she drew them away, staring at bright red. Blinking as she processed the blood, she at last viewed her surroundings. The sun was bright, hazy. Blurry vision became clear within seconds as she cast her gaze about her, and at last her eyes settled on Kate. What? It wasn't easy to get words out. Leaning forward onto her hands and knees, she attempted to bring herself into a standing position. Coughing up blood, she saw Kate running over to her, only to have her vision blur again. There's our excerpt for the week. I do really love this story so much, and I can't wait to finish the edit entirely, get beta readers in, etc. It's going to be a long road, much longer than the one with A Time When Demons, which was purely an exercise in drafting, editing, and publishing on a timeline. But I feel that this is really going to be worth it in the end. I hope that you enjoy hearing my excerpts and that you'll read Centera when it is at last out in the world. But for now, let's check in on some nostalgia vlogging. And remember, watch the end for housekeeping. See you soon. Thought I'd just do a little end of day check-in. I just finished editing the latest Writing Craft podcast, and finally, I'm actually ahead of the game. It's been very rocky just because of everything going on in the last couple months. So this is actually the first time that I've edited it just like fairly quickly and scheduled it. It's Sunday, it doesn't come out till Tuesday. It's always just really nice when that can happen, so I'm feeling relieved. I am at my aunt's place. It's a lovely little room. Actually, I guess I can do a bit of a tour. I'm a bit messy right now, but very calm, very nice. It's my cousin Robin's old room, and I've got one of my aunt's awesome paintings up here, so it's been very peaceful. I've liked it a lot. The only thing is I work so much, and it's NaNoWriMo, so it's like there's so much going on, so I don't get to spend as much time with like the family as I would like to, and I feel bad about it. But now that I've got this thing scheduled and out of the way, that means I'll be able to like maybe hang out at dinner and stuff. But I am seeing people like every night, so I'm in my hometown. I'm visiting friends and family. That's the whole point. So it's been really nice. But yeah, productivity is going really well. I just like almost just in this moment, I'm feeling like, okay, I've got a grip on things. Jenna and I recorded a podcast for a future episode earlier today. And then even earlier in the day, I went and visited my childhood home from age 5 to about 15 or 16. So it was like the most, for me, like the most sort of pivotal chunk of youth, even though the house after was also like quite a lot went on there because that was my teens. But yeah, Elm Street, where my like middle childhood home was like very, I still have dreams about that place all the time, like running through it. There was a lot of creativity, a lot of imagination, a lot of just, I guess, forming who I was going to become. I was writing my RPG with my friend Jessica for years in there, and it was just like, it means a lot to me. So I had reached out before going to Winnipeg to see how many people like would let me into their homes. Because when I was very little, like from when I was born until like age 4 or 5, I was in one house, and then 4 or 5 to like 15, 16 in this Elm one, and then 16 to like 23, I think, in Home Street before I moved out. So this one was the most important. So they were the only people who got back, and the cool thing was that they're actually the people we sold the house to. So they have been there since we left, and just the stuff they did is really lovely. And because I mean, a lot of the time when there's so many people who get character houses and just like take the character out of them, and they just, everything they did was so good. But my favorite part was just how they left the bathroom that my parents renovated almost exactly as it was. So walking in was kind of surreal. It was one of those experiences though. I said I was going to talk about nostalgia in this week's vlog, so that was one of the things that I knew would spur that on. Brief tour interlude before we move on. Here is Elm Street. I'm not very good at blurring yet, but I thought it might be good to not show the address. Walking up the steps here, I'm going to show you my room next. This was my childhood room. It's different because it's an office now. My mom had a mural over that fireplace there, and we had a artist friend do a sky on the ceiling too, but you know, times change, different people are there. This is our bathroom though, which is the same. My parents renovated this and it's amazing. I spent hours in this bathtub drawing and writing on that shelf there, and my mom would always be like, "Get out of the bathroom, you're turning into a prune." Most importantly, here's the secret room. I have referenced this on this channel, the haunted channel. We didn't know this room existed. We walked by outside and saw a window where there was like no room there. We had a party where we knocked down the wall and everyone guessed what would be inside. It wasn't that exciting. I think there was a dead bird, but it always had a very odd vibe to it. Here I am on the hallway stairs, got my dad to take this, and here I am with my father. And to wrap everything up, I got some footage of us just leaving and had to take the opportunity to remind him of how much he had to shovel when we were here, and I had a picture of him right there doing that. My cousin and I were talking about this actually, and my mom, about just how when I was younger, I would sort of get this nostalgia hit, and it was almost like a drug. Like if I went to remind myself of something, like smell something from a certain time or go to a certain place, I remember this feeling that would just like hit me like in the gut. Like it was just such a physical reaction of being like dragged back into that time. And I've been really wanting to get that back again, and I thought that I could do it during this trip, but so far I'm not getting that physical feeling. I'm getting a mental thing, but I think that I don't know. Tell me if this is an experience any of you have, or if it's the same for you. Since getting older, nostalgia just doesn't hit me in the same way. I know that I'm an extremely non-hormonal person, and I know that hormones can do a lot. So maybe like when you're a teenager, that's when you're at your most hormonal. So that is probably why my everything was a little bit more heightened, but that was about as extreme as it was ever going to get with me. So at this point, it's just like, it's not that I don't feel anything, it's that it's just not the same, and I thought going into that house would really like slap me in the face with it, and it was surreal. The thing that I'm wondering is if I sit on this for a bit, if I let it sink in, if it'll be different, and also just the way it was presented, because it was really great. But, there's obviously a family in there. There were lots of, kids walking around and their friends and stuff. And my dad was there and he was talking, and people were basically it was very active while I was walking around. And I think that first of all, I'm someone who really gets a lot out of being alone. Like a lot of people are like, oh, well, you wouldn't like it if you were really alone. Like, no, I really, really like being alone. It's like my favorite thing. And hard to say, because sometimes people think that sounds like insulting. It's not. I have a lot of people I love in my life who are amazing, but I really like being alone. Anyway, I feel like maybe if I was totally alone and just had like an hour to walk through and really like confront myself with everything and like touch things and just go through it slowly and sort of meticulously, it would hit me a lot more. But going and having it feel kind of like a house tour, which it was, we're just walking through and talking about how, things they changed and how it was when I was younger, which was great. And like, I'm so thankful for them for, letting me do that, because not a lot of people would be like, yeah, just come into our house and walk through. Like, I get why the other two residents didn't write back to me, like totally understandable. But yeah, I think that I always need like a minute to just let it sink in. So even just being away now and thinking about it, maybe I'll have different feelings in the next few days. And I took some photo and video, so I'll be able to look at those again and just meditate on it, basically. Anyway, that's my little discussion on nostalgia for the day. That's kind of my theme while I'm in Winnipeg. And let me know your thoughts on it when you watch this. And I am going to go, I don't know, it's somewhere over there. I'm going to go do my 3.5 pages editing Centera to get par today. And then I'm going to crash. I've been going to bed late, like every night since I got here pretty much, and with good reason. It's been really great stuff. I've had a lot of really good times catching up with friends, but it's about time I had an early bedtime. So it's like 9:14 now. I think I'll actually be able to sleep by 10 or 10:30 and get up early. And the plan for tomorrow is to write at the university, which I'm really excited about, but I have to figure out how on earth buses here work right now, because it's changed since I was here last. So wish me luck, and I will check back in tomorrow. Good afternoon from messy hairland. I slept in a bit today. I'm still trying to get my schedule back on track after like spooky season. But I slept until like, well, I slept till 8:30, which is like right when I clock in, and then I was a bit dozy for the next half hour. But I'm all up on my tasks, all good, work is going fine. I've got dinner tonight, but it's gonna be pretty early because it's with one of my friends who doesn't stay up super late or anything. So we're gonna get spicy peanut noodle soup, which I'm very excited about. It's one of the best things in Winnipeg, and it's a place called Spicy Noodle House. So I'll probably take some like food pictures of that. It's really good. And I've been trying to create it for ages, and I haven't like recreated it, and I just haven't been able to. Maybe this time I'll figure out the secret to it or something, but I don't know. I don't have much faith. So yeah, the plan is to work. I'm gonna get a walk in at 1, and then I'm gonna probably go to dinner like right after work, and then get back and do my editing for the evening. And I'm excited because tomorrow is sprinting, and I haven't been on a text sprint in a long time. I did one, I did a couple last month, but people weren't really around, but I know they will definitely be around for this one, so it should be a lot of fun. I have returned, and I have less crazy hair. And dumb me, I went out and I had the amazing spicy peanut noodle soup, and I forgot to vlog anything. But it's also a good thing because I was catching up with my friend Sam, and we actually just talked and caught up the entire time and weren't, on our phones and taking videos and photos. So I think I'm winning in the end. I did, however, take one photo of the soup, which I'll probably put in. I don't think anyone cares, but if you happen to find yourself in Winnipeg, then you can at least know that you should go to Spicy Noodle House and get their spicy peanut noodle soup because chef's kiss. Anyhow, I am going to, where's my book? It is right here. It's editing time. Today I have to care. I'm visiting my first school. This was my elementary school that I went to. I'm gonna try to hit up all my schools through the next couple weeks. This one is called Robert H. Smith, but I like to call it Robert Smith because I'm just goth like that. I probably won't take any like pictures or videos inside because that would be weird. But yeah, I'm about to go, yay. So I actually was able to take a couple pictures in the school, and I had to grab these big school-wide ones where you can still see me. I don't know what grade that was, kind of little, but this was in grade 5, and you'll see I'm wearing a gray sweater in it that I thought was the coolest thing in the whole world. My childhood library. Used to think it was so big. Here it is from the front. No children at the moment. They're all out for recess behind me, as you can hear. But yeah, good old Robert Smith School. Okay, I don't want to be a creep, but there's these 2 little kids here. Not gonna zoom too much. And they're just walking around the perimeter, and that's exactly what my friend Anna and I used to do. We didn't play. We would a little bit, but we were very loners and bullied, and we would just like walk around here over and over again and talk and be weird. And after I had an amazing plant-based chicken taco salad at this newer restaurant called Leo's and got some work done. Tonight we are doing sprints on Discord, and if you have not yet joined the Discord, I highly recommend you do. We've got like almost 100 people on here now, and they're all super nice and super supportive and creative, and it's been a good time. I already got my edits in, but I'm gonna be doing some planning and some reading now. Yay. Hello friends, today is Wednesday. We're at hump day. My ears are feeling a little weird. I've been tired. I slept like 10 hours last night, but it's just a kind of down day. I woke up this morning and my Fitbit was like, "You're not ready." And usually I have a very high readiness score, but not today. So I've just been taking it easy. I got out for a little walk to get groceries in the blistering cold, took a car back, and now I've just had dinner and I'm gonna sit down and do some editing. I did a lot of bookkeeping for Stygian today, which needed to get done, and that is a relief to have done. And I'm probably gonna do some more admin things in the morning and try to catch up on emails, because I am terrible with emails right now. I am redoing this audio because there was so much wind that I didn't realize when I was walking down the street. I didn't think it was too bad. But as you can see, Winnipeg has delivered on the snow. This is me walking up Garwood towards my second elementary school, which is called Rockwood. One nice thing I have to say about Winnipeg is these little like birdhouse style libraries are everywhere and they're super cute. People put like a lot of effort into how they look, and I really like that. Rockwood was, well, I say, my second elementary school. When you get bullied, you tend to have multiple schools, if that's an option. So for me, I would, get bullied and move schools. So I was at Robert H, and then I went here. I only had one middle school. I think that was because it was only grade 7 and 8, so that limited time was, about as long as I could last. Rockwood was a school that was kind of behind on the times, which at the time I was a bit frustrated by, but now looking back on it, I like that a lot. Anything more analog that I got to do in my childhood, I'm really thankful for. Like we had sock hops at this school. It was very retro, and it's a sort of neighborhood school. Everyone in the neighborhood went there. My mom went there. Her siblings went there. It was just this nice, cozy year, and like there was a bit of bullying too, but I massively have fond memories of Rockwood School. And get ready for the coolest thing here. This tile wall was with my year, and there's my tiger. Still the best bit of 3D art I've ever done. Just finished my little walkthrough. It was very nice. It's always interesting to see how the schools are handling like security and stuff in this era, because it was so different when I was little, right? Like people could just come and go as they pleased, which was not great. So at Robert H, I was allowed to walk through and just sign a sheet. Here, the principal, Angela, super nice, she met me and did a little walkthrough with me. So obviously I didn't like film anything because there were kids, but I did get a picture of my tiger. We had a whole wall of like ceramic, I guess they were, ceramic tiles that we made when I was in grade 6, and mine is the tiger, and he's still there. So that was very exciting. And it was a nice little walkthrough. As always, school felt super tiny, and it felt like a massive labyrinth when I was little. Now I'm gonna go back to work because my lunch is over. Ah yes, the best bookstore. Doesn't support indie at all. Awesome, guys. Windy audio fix time. I was going to do my schools in order, but this is my first high school, Grant Park, and I was really close to it. It's near Rockwood, so I decided to see if I could get a walkthrough while I was in the area. This school, as you can see, was in kind of a perfect spot for all of us kids to be absolute shithawks. We had a McDonald's right across here, and then we had the entire mall right here. It was a pretty great school. I was here for grade 9 and I loved it. I can't actually remember all the reasons about why I left. It might have had to do with a guy though. Oops. This hall is where I first read Shakespeare in Mr. Timmerman's class. He is unfortunately not here anymore, it looks like. He was mental, but I loved him. What a day. So I'm back now for the evening and getting ready to do editing, chapter 11. I just had a really lovely dinner with an old family friend, Stephen. He was my parents' accountant, but they met when they were working in the same building. My parents were coloring comics, and so they've known him for like more time than I've been alive, like 34 plus years. And it's always just really, really nice to catch up with him. So that was a great dinner. We had amazing sushi and tempura at a place called Bimmy. And yeah, it wasn't like a super late night or anything. So I'm back with plenty of time to do my editing and then get to sleep early. Tomorrow I am planning to go to my middle school, and then I have dinner with my sisters in the evening. It's turning out to be a very nice week, even though there was that little bit there where I thought I might get sick, but we are all good now. Welcome to a central location from my youth. This is the field of the Corden Community Center, I believe it's called. I feel like it wasn't called that before, or River Heights Community Center, but now they have like Corden Comets. I don't know if that's new. I just don't pay attention to sports, so that's probably the problem. But yeah, this was our community center, and this was my middle school. The community center, that's where I did all my skating lessons, my very embarrassing skating lessons where I had to dress up like a toothbrush at one point. My mom still thinks it's adorable. I do not. But they always had the best hot chocolate ever, and I might take a little creep in there just to walk around. I had a lot of fun in there, exploring its like basement halls and stuff. And yeah, this is actually just down the street from Robert H. And so I was here a lot when I was in this area, even before I was in middle school. And yeah, this middle school was pretty good. It's where I had my biggest anime phase, so I was kind of a psycho, but fond memories aside from the, you guessed it, bullying. That one was kind of cool. I had some memories that I'd forgotten a bit. First of all, that was the hardest one to walk through because the person in the office was not sure, but luckily the principal was really cool, so that was nice. I thought it would be like more difficult with elementary schools, but apparently this one. I hope the high schools aren't too bad. Well, I already did one high school and that was fine, so I hope Kelvin is fine because I really want to walk through there. But yeah, I'd totally forgotten about this one hallway, which was this weird like little half hallway, and I went through there and I was like, oh, that's where I first saw one of my closest friends. So that was kind of cool. Sorry, I paused because some dude was walking around and it was kind of weird. Anyway, what else? The band room looked the same. It had the same layout, and I kind of like, I knew I started band in that school. I was supposed to play guitar actually, but they cut out guitar, and so we only had band. So I played saxophone and flute. I was in jazz band. I love jazz band, and it was so great. Like, there's so much happened in those 2 years. It was kind of crazy, honestly. And yeah, just seeing that exact same layout, like, oh my God, I remember sitting there spending so much time in band. And then I also remembered this amazing theater teacher I had. He actually got me to like get on a stage, which didn't last long because by the time I got to Grant Park in grade 9, that was when I was supposed to sing a karaoke song and like ran out of the musical theater room on the first day, and that was the extent of my musical theater class. So but you know, grade 7 and 8 with theater was amazing, and that school was great. Some of the worst bullying I ever experienced, but like the best friend experience. Even though we bullied each other, we were really weird. As we wrap up the weekend here, I had an amazing Mediterranean dinner with my sisters and my niece and her boyfriend. It was so good. And here we all are. And then Saturday night, I did dinner and movie day of pizzas with my aunt and uncle and cousin where I am staying, with lots of popcorn, of course, and some amazing microgreens from my friend Melanie, who now grows those and sells them. All right, if you are a vlog enjoyer, I hope you enjoyed that. If not, thank you for skipping on to this wrap-up so that I can give you info for sprints for the rest of the month. This Tuesday, we have sprints from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on the Discord server. To join, check out the link in the description down below. Saturday, I will be back on YouTube right here, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern, running live sprints. And if you miss them, you can always watch them back and just sort of play along. You won't be in on the live chat, but I have had some people comment and say it was enjoyable anyway, so give it a shot. Next week is my last full week in Winnipeg, and I will be heading to Montreal on the 21st. Flights are brutal pricey right now, so that day is going to be an adventure. First, I have to fly from Winnipeg to Toronto, and then I'm taking a train from Toronto to Montreal. Amazingly, that cut the cost in half as compared to a direct flight, but hey, I love trains. The thing is, the flight is at 5 a.m., so it won't be ideal, but that's just what happens sometimes when you're traveling. Because of this, however, on the 21st, I will not be running sprints on the Discord server since I will be hanging out with Pei and sleeping. I will be back, though, the following Saturday on YouTube and on a fairly normal schedule heading to the end of the month, though there is going to be an extra sprint in there, I think, on YouTube. Stay tuned for announcements in my community tab. I hope to see all of you at sprints, and please let me know in the comments below how you are doing so far with NaNoWriMo. And we're nearly at the halfway point. It's in 3 days, so next time I see you, we will be past that halfway mark, and I can't believe how fast it's gone. It always goes so fast every year. Anyhow, I will let you go. See you for sprints. For next week's video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you actually get notified when I post new videos and go live. And last but not least, I hope that you are having a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Bye.